You kicked my ravage. The only path left is extermination. Goodbye, Starscream.
Starscream. That's my name.
Ulchtar, come on! We're gonna miss it!
I'm coming, Genvo. I just need to finish this.
Ulchtar, they only come once every 200 years!
I know that!
Come, old friend. It's my last night on Cybertron. Let's make it one to remember.
Alright, Jetfire. Let's go. You're sure this is the place?
They said Moonbase 2 has the best view of the passing.
So, have you heard anything about the fighting?
Not yet. My brothers are refusing to join a side.
You both should come with me. Our leader. I never met anyone like him. And when you join us, we will make an incredible team.
I've already chosen my path, Genvo. I will be traversing the stars with the maps Ulchtar has laid out for me. We can find a way to save ourselves without the need for fighting.
Sure. If there's anything even out... Gotcha! These Turbo-6 are so annoying.
Stop. Everyone thinks they bite, but they're quite harmless. They help clean the gears of our moon. They help our lives run just a little bit smoother. They're beautiful.
By the spark! They're here! Hello guys, the Firebird is here, it's just me. Issue 13 of the Transformers Skybound comics is out, and today I'll be giving you my review of it. So as usual, beware of spoilers, cause this issue has some heavy spoilers, especially for Starscream since essentially this is just his backstory. But anyways, you guys seem to like the trimmed down, less long version of my reviews from the last time I did it, so I'm really happy about that and I'm gonna keep this up. And also just beware, I made videos covering the previous issues of the Skybound comics if you wanna hear my thoughts on that. I did a video covering the first arc of the series, issues 1 to 6, and then did several covering the second arc of the series. Now we're entering the third arc of the series, and I can't wait to see what the story takes us next, especially after the last issue. Man, that issue was insane! And if you guys want to recap on what happened in that issue, I made a playlist containing all the videos I have done reviewing all the comics, so link to that will be in the description down below. But anyways, now that we got that out the way, last call for spoilers, and if you're still here, I assume you're cool with that. So let's just jump right into it. So issue 13 starts with a little skit I did at the beginning, so no need to recap from there, and now we can move on to the new stuff. So Starscream, or Ulchtar as he's called, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, I'm sorry in advance if I got it wrong, but him and his bros, Jetfire and Genvo here, are in Moonbase 2 about to oversee the passing, and we find out that the passing is Omega Supreme, passing by Cybertron, exploring the cosmos. I don't know what this is all about, it doesn't really get explained what the passing is, but we get this amazing drawing of Omega Supreme, and this looks amazing. This is fantastic. Starscream said that he had no idea they were that big, so this kind of implies that Omega Supreme is not the last Guardian, that there's many others out there, kind of like how we saw in War for Cybertron and even OGG1. Starscream, being an impulsive teenager, gets an idea. He transforms and flies away, with Genvo and Jetfire following suit, only for them to bypass a sleeping cub, infiltrate the Cybertron Defense Force stockpiles of ammunition, and hijack it to try and signal the Guardian, because Ulchtar wants them to quote-unquote see them. So he creates a huge explosion which manages to get the attention of Omega Supreme here. They start waving at him and Omega Supreme starts waving back, and I'm not gonna lie, that's so cute. I don't know why, I love that so much. This is probably my favorite page of the comic. It's so silly, I just love it. But then Cub finally catches on to those meddling kids, and just before he's about to arrest them, they all fly away, leaving a very disgruntled Cub behind to likely get fired. A while later, the three friends reunite, and they say their goodbyes, just as Jetfire is finally ready to leave Cybertron in search for a way to save their planet. He pulls in Ulchtar and Genvo for a hug, and says his goodbye before transforming and leaving them behind. Starscream says that he's gonna miss him, but Genvo reassures him that he will still be around for him. To which Starscream feels very comforted by, and thanks Genvo for his friendship. Also, something I want to point out, Starscream's eyes are red here, even though they're blue the whole comic issue, and I don't think this was intentional. But overall, yeah, a pretty wholesome moment. But then it's BAM! Interrupted by a huge explosion, and we see Ulchtar rush to the scene of the action, and we see Genvo, Shockwave, and that guy from Legacy, who's a recolor of Blitzwing, charge forward as they're clearly fighting something. Ulchtar calls off with Genvo, but he gets struck by a missile, which severely injures him. Genvo goes off to help his friend, trying to get him out of the danger zone. But Starscream doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave his work behind just to be destroyed. But Genvo tells him that it's too late and they need to get out of here immediately or they'll be next. But then suddenly, just as they're running away, Genvo gets shot from the back and falls onto the ground with his dying words. Genvo finally remembers the last moment they shared as friends. He tells Ulchtar that he did it. He yelled at the gods. He screamed at the stars into seeing them, into being noticed, and Genvo's spark fades as he's being held in Starscream's arms. And we get this beautiful panel here that reminds me of like a panel from Berserk. Not because it's as detailed as something like that, but I'm just saying like the way this is framed, it reminds me of all of that. But just as Ulchtar is in despair, confused, angry, he turns around to look at the face of Genvo's killers, and he sees Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Jazz? I'll assume that's Jazz or maybe even Grimlock. It's hard to say, honestly. This memory causes Starscream to wake up, screaming Genvo's name, only to notice that his legs are missing. They have been melted by the lava, and he starts crawling away from it, Anakin Skywalker style. Very clearly shocked and traumatized at seeing his own legs melt before his eyes, Starscream kinda just faints again, fading out of consciousness. And when this happens, we see that a mysterious figure has been observing the whole thing. He orders his crew to chain Starscream and pull him over, thus taking him back to base. Now, I don't know much about these guys. I'm pretty confident these are GI.Joe people. I mean, the whole part about, like, Ron Weasley here basically saying that his father was a genuine American hero kind of gave it away. And I'll be honest, I don't care much about these guys. They kind of fumble the bag and Starscream falls on top of them, almost killing them, and he gets pissy about it. And orders his incompetent crew to get their act together and get ready to transport Starscream back to base. We then cut back to the flashback from earlier, and we see that Ulchtar is still holding on to Genvo, trying in vain to save him even though he's already gone. However, he trips and falls, and he looks at Genvo's Decepticon insignia, not knowing what to do. Very clearly in despair, lost and anger. He asks what he's gonna do now, when suddenly a voice responds to him, and it's Megatron, who offers him a choice to join them and become a Decepticon warrior as a way to avenge his friend and his clan. He transforms into this weird gun tank pistol thing, which it's very clearly probably gonna be how 86 Megatron is gonna look like, you know? A weird compromise between people who want gun Megatron and people who don't care about that and like tank Megatron better. I don't mind this. It just looks bonkers. Megatron then asks Ulchtar what his brother called him. Starscream takes a second as he looks at Megatron in his hand. He looks back at Genvo, and remembering his words from earlier, he proclaims that his name is Starscream. And yeah, that's pretty much it for issue 13. Okay, man, what an issue. I think some people are gonna be a bit disappointed by this issue because issue 12 ended in such a cliffhanger, and this episode was basically a prequel, a backstory for Starscream, which, by the way, I called from the very beginning did not die when Soundwave threw him over. I remember the shitstorm that people threw saying like, oh my god, this comic keeps killing characters, everyone's safe, what a waste of a character. But no, from the very beginning, I knew Starscream wasn't dead, and this just proved it. So, play the music! I think it was very nice to get a little preview on Starscream's backstory, his relationship with Jetfire and Genvo here, who I think it's a whole new character that they made for this issue for IDW. For Skybound. I don't think he has been in anything before, so this is his first appearance. It's really cool seeing him. I like his character. I like all their characters. I like how Starscream started out pretty different from what we're used to. I mean, it's very easy to look at Skybound Starscream and think of him as nothing more than a savage that likes massacring people because LOL, I guess. This Starscream was very different. He actually respects life and doesn't, wanna inflict any harm upon anything, not even insects. Which I actually kinda like, because he makes Starscream feel like a very tragic type of character, like someone who started out good but became bad. And I feel like those types of characters have more layers to them, and I enjoy that about him. Typically, for a lot of Transformers continuity, Starscream always starts out as a bastard and keeps being a bastard when joining the Decepticons. But here, I don't know, I feel like him joining the Decepticons had more emotion. Even his name has more meaning now. He's not just Starscream because, that's his name. He's Starscream because that's a way of reminding him of the pain of loss, of losing his brother, his friend. It also harkens back to his whole thing about him wanting to be noticed by a very imposing and intimidating being like Omega Supreme. And also that little wave, chef's kiss, amazing. I loved it. Pure art. And that's something I also want to talk about. The art in this issue was incredible. I think they switched artists from what I remember. The artist is Jason Howard. I think that one's different from the one that we had for the second arc of the series, which is something that happens whenever we enter a new arc, at least when it comes to Western comics. They usually change artists or they change themes. Because it's not like how they do in anime where there's just one guy who does everything, which honestly, that's the reason why I like anime and manga more, because there's consistency here. But in here, I don't mind. I actually really love the art style. It feels very expressive, very dynamic, and oh my god, this has to be a new reaction. If you get 3 new channel members by the end of the week, I'll swear I'll make this a channel member emoji. So yeah, get on that! I've seen some people on Twitter saying that this issue did feel a bit rushed. It's like, oh, Starscream's here, he's a good guy, and then, oh, suddenly tragedy, and then suddenly Starscream meant bad. Which, yeah, I understand. I feel like this is the kind of thing I would like to have at least one more issue to have developed. How he used to be before joining the Decepticons, before actually becoming evil. I would have liked to see that. It did feel a bit rushed, and I do understand people's concerns. But in all honesty, I think the Skybound writing is amazing, and I think this just goes to show just how good it is. Because even though, Genvo was a character we barely just met, I really did bought into his relationship with Starscream. He felt like the kid of the group, while, Starscream was the guy in the middle, and Jetfire was something of a big brother to him. So seeing Genvo died was a bit sad. Like, I wouldn't say like it made me cry, but I did feel sorry for Starscream, Like Starscream's pain and everything, I did bother him. He was so happy for 1 second. He got acknowledged. He screamed at the stars and the stars saw him. He had a comfortable life, a nice job, and then all of a sudden, all of that was just gone. And the fact that Starscream turns around only to see Optimus priming his Autobots, being the clear murderers of Genvo, I don't know. To me, that kind of makes Starscream's, I wouldn't say that changes the way I see his character, but now when I look back at the first issues of Skybound and I see his interactions, especially with Optimus and even Bumblebee to some degree, I have a whole new perspective on that. Now when I look back at that scene, it's not like Starscream's killing Bumblebee just cause, oh wow, it's so funny killing Autobots. Now I'm like, it's him in a way trying to, cope with his anger and hatred. He remembers how Bumblebee was there the day Genvo got killed. So for him, this is very personal. Also, I'll be honest, I did not care about GI.Joe whatsoever here. Like, I know they're setting up that Cobra is probably gonna find him and repair him or something, because I don't know much about GI.Joe. I don't know who these people are. I don't care. I haven't read the GI.Joe comics, and I don't plan to. I do recognize the vehicle from that Megatron toy they released a while back, so yeah, it looks like they're gearing up for like that GI.Joe X Transformers crossover, which I don't like that. I don't want that. I don't care about GI.Joe, but my guess is that they're also doing this to tie in with the GI.Joe movie that will be coming out soon, which hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it gets cancelled. I really did like seeing Megatron for once in this comic. I know we saw Megatron a couple of times in this comic through flashbacks, but this is like the first time we get a really clear look at him. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of his vehicle. I never liked Megatron being a gun. I think that's too silly, in my opinion. I don't like it. I understand why people like it. I understand. It's a classic thing, okay? And we have seen mass shifting before in this comic. Just look at Refractor. But I still don't like it. I never liked that. So it looks like this Megatron will either be a gun or might even be a tank or maybe both. My guess is that probably both. This is probably very intentional, because next time we see Megatron and if he ever does transform, he'll probably transform into a tank. But I really did like how Starscream took Genvo's words to heart and, and changed his name to Starscream as a way to honor him. But yeah, overall I really like this comic issue. The pacing was a bit rushed, but in terms of the art, the characters, the dialogue, and everything else, I did like it. I mean, well, maybe you could say that Genvo's last words to Starscream were a bit forced. I mean, it did feel a bit forced as a quick way to, give Starscream his name. I kind of wish there was a bit more build up to it, or maybe a panel where they are both, hiding, and then Genvo reminisces or reflects a bit more on Starscream and his desire to get noticed, and then he brings up like, oh, like how you screamed the stars into, noticing us or something like that. I don't know. I feel like that scene could have used an extra page or two to, build into Starscream's name. But I don't hate the idea, I just wish it was executed a bit better. But I don't mind. Overall, I actually really like this comic issue. I thought I was gonna be disappointed by it because I started like hearing the intellectuals on Twitter speaking, saying that it was kind of bad. But no, actually, if anything, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know what people are talking about. But then again, this is Twitter, so I should know better than to trust them. But I like this issue a lot. Didn't like it as much as the last issue because that issue was insane. But I definitely did like this way more than I thought I would. So I'm actually gonna give the final score an 8 out of 10. Now I think that might be a bit too much. I think I'm gonna get people disagreeing with me in the comments down below, but that's how I feel honestly. I honestly thought this issue was really solid. Though I can give it a higher score because of how rushed some parts were. I feel like if we didn't have some of the GI.Joe dialogue here, I feel like we could have developed Starscream way more. So yeah, again, GI.Joe ruins everything. But yeah guys, those are my thoughts for Skybound issue 13. Honestly, I really liked it. I now want to hear your thoughts on it as well. Did you guys like it as much as I did? Do you guys think I gave it too high of a score or too little of a score? And also, do you think that GI.Joe is gonna ruin everything? Or do you think that the GI.Joe story and the Transformers story is like colliding in a way that feels satisfactory? Because so far the GI.Joe haven't done much to the point that you could say that they're interfering in the story. I think this is the first time where you could say they are, because I feel like this whole panel developing this life-size bag of Cheetos here was not necessary. If we could have cut a lot of this and we could have focused more on Starscream and his backstory. I also kind of wish we saw more of what happened, more of the aftermath of, after issue 12, because that ended in such a cliffhanger. But my guess is that we're gonna slowly build up to that, or maybe this will be a side story where we'll focus on Starscream before going to the events of the main story. I don't know. We'll have to wait for the next issues to wait and see. But for now, this is where we stand with Transformers Skybound. Pretty good so far. And if you guys want to be caught up in the other previous episodes / videos I did covering the previous Skybound issues, link to the playlist will be in the description down below for you guys to check out. But yeah, as always guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the annoying YouTuber stuff that the algorithm likes so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe guys. Anyways guys, before we go, shout out to our amazing Patreons: Steve Martin, Primer611, Inferno65, Winsolopes Hightower, Scout, Bully666, Silverman, King Sparta, Super Silverform Hedgehog, Xavier the God, Stitch Productions, Scrub Lordo, and Prediking Hunter Plays. And also a big shout out to our channel members: Shin Leviathan Dragon Phoenix, TF Cypher, and Laser Sin. Thank you all for your support guys, it's much appreciated. It really helps me keep the channel going and you get a few perks from it. Link to the Patreon and channel membership in the comments down below with more details on them if it interests you. But anyways, thank you for your support guys, it's much appreciated, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay safe guys!